Hey everybody, how are we doing? What are we doing? How are we doing it? Oh my gosh, tell me I'm here. Tell me I'm all right. Tell me I'm okay. Tell me I'm all right. Because tonight, whoa. How are you guys doing? Been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute, has it not? All right. Hope you guys are doing all right. Listen, heavy stuff hitting. Heavy stuff hitting on. Hey, yeah, I am. I'm okay. I've had to reboot my computer. My computer is basically it's basically the guy. It's like, have you ever been to a game where it's an old timers day where they come out and they, everybody kind of waves their little hat and everybody says, "Oh yeah, great. I remember when he played in 1974," and you're like, "Oh yeah, he was a rookie of the year that year," and you're like, "Oh yeah." Well, they wave their little dickhead hats and. Yeah, I think that's where my computer's at right now. I think my computer is at dickhead hat category on Old Timers Day, right? But listen, coming to you with some hard stuff right out of the gate. If you have not heard, India has declared war on Pakistan. They have done it in twofold. They have done it on the first side of it with a series of ongoing threats. I was kind of getting myself caught up, which is why I wasn't dealing with the technology the way that I should have. I brought my whole equipment down and all that other good stuff. And India means business. They are currently bombing 3 different areas. They are using what are known as precision drones. And we're going to take a look at that from an astrology. I'm kind of doing 2 shows in one with this week. I want to give you a little bit of an energy report. I do want to pull Trump's cards. I am going to do that as well. I'm actually going to start off with that one so I can find it in the clipsum. It's so funny. I have these cards, these big giant ones. I don't remember if I shuffled them last week, but I'm just feeling like I need to put some energy into it. Austin, thanks so much for having me. You guys were fantastic down there. I appreciate the hospitality and the brisket. I will never talk down to again. I will never talk down to brisket. It was a healing venture for me to see where I think the work is going to be. And what I'm about to say is really real. I have some serious hesitation about long-term travel right now, not only by the way the airlines are kind of acting and reacting. I was on the last Orlando to Albany flight that had free Wi-Fi, which, listen, I get it, first world problems, so forth and so on, but then they charge bags, and then you need a real ID, and then you just have a series of, they're not making it easier, right? There are some things that point to, we're going to pull up a chart here. I pulled up one of the afflicted regions in India, which is where they believe the shots were fired from, where the military operations were, and it was a three-pronged attack. For sure, it was three-pronged, not only from the Army, Air Force, and their form of Navy. I don't quite know how they were involved, but there was that. We're going to pull some cards on that there. But I want to be very, I'm sorry, mister, a little bit out of the shot there, if you don't mind. We currently in the world have two major conflicts between borderline countries, and there was I'm not going to mince words. India and Pakistan, for lack of better arrogance, and I'm going to use the word arrogance, weren't fearful for what the United States might do or might step in or whatever, because we have this ass clown in the White House right now that's just kind of like, I'm going to tariff, we're going to tariff you, we don't like you, we're going to tariff you. Well, we've done 3 things. We've eliminated any financial aid to countries or groups that are working with the good guys. So we no longer kind of have our clout there. It's like nobody thought of this next step, which is why we literally have diminished ourselves in the world, and it will take us decades to move back. It's taken them literally, I mean, what is it? 14 weeks to dismantle pretty much an entire country's worth of effort for peacekeeping, and yes, are we sullied in some of it? Yes, did we cut short steps? Were we always kind of in it for ourselves? We actually won far more of trade bargains than what you think. Like there's he's an asshat for using tariffs the way he's done, but let's not get started on that, right? Let's focus in on the idea, and I said this at the start of the Ukraine war, and I'm going to say it now. If you're killing innocent people and babies are dying because they simply exist and they're at the wrong place at the wrong time, that is a casualty of war, and it's not right. India initiated this. I am not saying they're the good guys or the bad guys. Pakistan has been at the negotiating table for some time, basically posturing that they were the ones that have been bringing terrorism to justice and so forth and so on. I'm not even sure which side to even care about believing anymore. I'm no longer interested in whether it was Israeli or Palestinian. I'm no longer interested if it's Ukraine or Russia. And by the way, we know it's Russia, Ukraine. By the way, we know it was Israel, Palestine. By the way, we know it was India, Pakistan. We know who initiated this conflict. That doesn't make it right or wrong. This is a sum of all games. Russia felt empowered to do what they did with Ukraine because the United States no longer had the goods on a president. So now they were daring them, and we didn't accept the dare. We funded the dare, but we didn't say, you know what, Russia, you need to kind of move back a little bit. We didn't do that. Sure, we dealt with proxy wars, and then we got hung up. We got hung up on our own protocol. Hey, what is right? Let's make sure that Ukraine has the things that they need. Fast forward, then we have, Trump back in this office, which is still really this fucking guy, who has literally dismantled everything. He currently has somewhere in the vicinity of 600 lawsuits against localized judges that are in there. He's arresting judges in Wisconsin. He is threatening lawsuits against every law firm. And part of the thing is that what he's making them do is sign what's known as an NDA. And with that will also be like, well, now you can't represent anybody that's going to sue us. So not only is he grabbing money from these law firms, he's also saying, and now you can't represent somebody that needs to sue us. By the way, that's using attorney-client privilege. It is actually abusing attorney-client privilege. So in other words, if, let's just say, Linda and Michelle wanted to sue one another, but Linda had already gone to lawyer A, and then Michelle went to lawyer A. Lawyer A would say, I'm sorry, I can't represent you because I'm already involved with Linda on some level. Right, it's called conflict of interest. So what he's doing is he's creating conflicts of interest. And fast forward into this, and I have a point with this with India. Now we're to a point where we're so decentralized and so deregulated. We're watching Canada say, you know what, we're going to vote for the people that can protect us moving forward. Right. That's why the elections went the way they went. And literally Donald Trump was to thank, because he scared the shit out of the good people of Canada to be like, we're going to have a unified front and F you. We're going to get our smartest. We're going to rally our stuff. We don't always agree with him, but guess what? We're behind that guy. Right. And by the way, he's not perfect. Carney's not perfect. Right. What we can do, though, and what we can say in all honesty is that by dismantling all of these in routes, whether it be financial aid, whether it be direct, payoffs, whether it's, us paying a little bit more on goods or whatever the case may be, there was a homeostasis in the world that Donald Trump wanted to disrupt. One of the fallouts in that are things like what's happening with India and Pakistan. India has for a long time really kind of set the clearance. I mean, we have this quote unquote Mexican border issue. Well, India has had this border issue with Pakistan ever since it broke off in 1948. It was done out of an agreement to say, let's create an Indian Muslim state. Pakistan has thrived for decades. When terrorism started to take over their infrastructure, that was a problem. And Pakistan was basically like, listen, if you want to help the good people of Pakistan, come on in. Let us help you. And the United States was very instrumental into that. When the Afghan war started in 1979 by Russia, basically it upset the apple cart. And that's when everybody was kind of like, if you don't get out of this, like, we're going to skip Olympics. We're not going to come to your country. We're not going to do those things. That's why we ended up boycotting. That's where all of those boycotts came in the early 80s. Well, fast forward, the next part of the conversation is that homeostasis came back into effect. Pakistan as a sovereign country has been able to create a Muslim state that's safe for them. And then India is largely Hindu and Christian, are able to kind of operate in their own modality. The challenge that we're having now is that the homeostasis as the whole, in terms of the world economic view, in terms of the world order, if you will, all choppy, all these levers of control that allowed Pakistan to be like, you know what, we should probably back down, along with India saying, yeah, we probably shouldn't bomb them. Now, I'm not going to say that Israel and Palestine necessarily have those same ideas, but it certainly did on some principle level. Now we're at a place where this is some of the chaos that we have. Is the conflict in Pakistan and India new? Absolutely not. Is the accusation of Pakistan harboring and using terrorist organizations as fronts in order to manage military assets been a long-term thing? Absolutely. Has India been warning about this, about not only infiltration into India, but also a protection of borders? Absolutely, 100%. However, when Big Brother isn't home, when your parents aren't home, I was just in Austin, and by the way, I hope you guys caught my live down there. I met some really great people. I met an awesome tarot reader. I met some great practitioners. I met this woman who reads auras through the palm and through the energetic value of them. I was able to like push my energy and move it, so that's how I know it was legit and real. I met some other mediums. I met another male medium, developed. He's really good. He's really strong. I just met good people there. And I hope you guys like that format. I'm hoping to grow that. And I do hope to be in some other towns and some, villages along the way. But I need to be very specific and not necessarily announcing my visits. I don't know. I don't know why I feel the need to be so cloak and dagger right now, but I do. But I see the energies that are going on. I want to take a look at the astrology here. And first things first, I have to do a little promotion here, guys. If you don't know, I am doing a bereavement, a 4-week class here at the end of May. It is understanding bereavement. It is an opportunity for you to explore not only the signs from loved ones, but also how to work through that grief. There is a series of things that I will be presenting to you. There are some worksheets involved. There is some homework. There are meditations involved with it too. I'm going to be finishing doing that recording here as well. That's interesting. And give a quick shout out to everybody. Hi Diane. Hi Kathy, Elaine, Michelle, Joanne, Rashandi, Linda. Yeah, I totally have you two suing each other, so I'm glad you guys are getting along. Jim, great to see you. Lassie, I am all right. Thanks so much. Black Bell, K. Uric, Shar. Great to see you guys. Hope I'm catching everybody that's made comments here. If I missed you, I apologize. I want to show the astrology of what's going on a few hours ago. Hey, Janet, how are you? Rita. Oh, by the way, books and cards. Oh, did I lose my spot? Come on. Don't let me down. If you've got a book and a t-shirt, it's going out in the mail tomorrow. If you're part of the Tarot Club, those are going out tomorrow. If you are in both, you'll be getting them at the same time, doing a little efficiency thing. So the bereavement, understanding bereavement, begins May 7th. It's 4 weeks. If you can't make a class, you'll get the recording. We'll be covering spiritual connection after death, including signs from loved ones, honoring your loved ones. What can you do to build your relationship? Everything's a relationship. Building your lessons from loss. What do they teach you? What do they teach you while they're here? What do they teach you when they were passing? So forth and so on. And then also moving on without leaving them. Yes, Rita, actually look for that tomorrow. We're actually working on that link on the shop. We had a little shop thing. SKB, how are you? So much more involved with this, and I feel like I needed a whole kind of series. I'm also going to get a little bit of the cat out of the bag. I have a new product coming out that is going to be the bereavement workbook, and you guys are going to be part of the feedback that I'll need from that. It's kind of part of the class, but more importantly, you're going to kind of get an up close personal thing with it. I'm pretty sure it works because I've been using similar tools over the years, but this will give an opportunity for you to get feedback and so forth and so on. Also, want to give you guys a heads up. I now have a half-hour reading slot, which is I've just been requested for a long time, and I've always kind of said no because I was always worried it was going to screw up my schedule and that sort of thing. And then I'm just realizing that sometimes people kind of just need a little bit of a bump, need a little bit of a connection, whether I've met with you recently or whether you're just kind of in a spot where you're like, hey, I'd love to connect, or whatever the case may be. Need a little pick me up, need a little, hey, this is where I'm at, I'm doing some decision making. It's price conscious for you as well. And I'm hoping that you guys will take advantage of that as well. All right, so I think that was it on the advertisement. So, okay, so let's take a look at the transits here. And actually, I'm going to do one of these. Yeah, there we go. My face is bigger. I got a little sun. I know that this is a little bit difficult to read based on the size of it, but I want to point out a couple of things here. So this is coming up. This is actually at the full moon. And I want to point out a couple of things that are kind of happening now. You have Mars in opposition to Pluto. You also here, even if you kind of back this up a little bit, Mars is square to Uranus. Mars is square to Mercury. Mars is also square to the Sun, because again, this is in a few days. And when you have that, you have a likelihood of disruption. You have a likelihood of people not getting along, people being like, you know what, screw this. We've got about another 2 days of this. And when it moves out of this into the full moon, this is when things will get exposed. I actually talked to my weekly bee about this today. You have the moon in its full moon with Juno. This is going to be like a lot of truth coming to light with close relationships and people that you have karmatic ties to. The Pakistanis and the Indians absolutely have that. The Palestinians and the Israelis absolutely have that. The United States, its people and its government also have that. This is a very important time, right? This is a very important time for us to recognize that conflict is the only way through this discomfort. And sometimes you can think about it like, hey, we're going to be, we're just going to talk it out, or we're just going to kind of help us through it. This is not meant to be everything is fair. This is not meant to be everything is safe. One of the things that are coming up here, and by the way, the reason why I put the moon, the full moon here, this Uranus Sun conjunct here is ridiculously critical. And it's not just for what you see on the chart, it's what you don't see on the chart. And that is the fixed star algol. Uranus has been dancing. It is in retrograde right now, so it's moving backwards. Has been dancing with algol here for the better part of 2 years. So, well, and actually it's had inference in it for the last 6. So it is not uncommon to point to that. Everything, whether you're talking January 6th or whether you're talking about election day or whether you're talking about the 51st state or whatever. The challenge that this really presents is the empowerment of the chaos of Uranus. These next 2 weeks are going to be insane, everybody. They're going to be absolutely, and I'm going to swear here, absolutely fucking crazy. But personally, you can right wrongs. Personally, you can fix yourself. Personally, you can correct relationships. You're just going to do it in unusual ways. If you were always able to heal without medicine, now you might need the medicine. If you were always able to just smooth things over, by talking about it, now you have to have maybe some sort of action or some sort of thing, right? Janet, I'm going to back you up on this one. There is a level of meanness out of people right now. It is because the worst part of who people are coming out, right? The worst part of what people are afraid of are what is in their most. Apparently that's what happens when you speak the truth to everybody. Apparently that's what happens when you speak the truth. How do you like that? Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm just reconnecting now. Thanks for kicking me off, dude. Anyways, but this is a time where energetically, on a personal level, you can improve on things. You're going to look for alternative ways, things that are going to be sew together those relationships that matter to you and keep them close and keep them in love and give each other kindness. Like, just listen, I'm going to say it. You've been through a lot of stuff. If people are in your life now and they made it this far, whatever that looks like, honor that. Like, they didn't get here because they got here by accident. Don't go kicking people out yet. This isn't a good time to purge. This is a good time to review, right? This is also not a good time to go and say, yeah, my sister's, that one person, and I want to fix that relationship and so forth and so on. Isn't a good time for that. This is a good time for you to stay pat. This is a good time for you to kind of work the clay a little bit, because new solutions will come up. Uranus is all about the rebellion. It's all about the unusual, and it's all about, and in retrograde, you can throw spaghetti at the wall and you don't know what kind of art you're going to get with them, right? Hey, Anne, how are you? Paula, good to see you. It is an opportunity to let the things that are supposed to unravel. What we're seeing in Pakistan and India is a direct effect of 3 things. Number one, the United States doesn't have the clout, and nobody really seems to be worried about somebody else coming in and tapping them on the shoulder saying you shouldn't have done that. So there's a reckless abandon, which, by the way, was part of what Russia was, which part of what Israel was. Second, the energies that are being presented right now are very chaotic. You are going to see, and by the way, I'm going to break screen here and kind of go full screen here. You are going to see Donald Trump do some of the most, you think he's been insane so far? Hold my ketamine. This dude is about to go full scale arsenal insane. The amount of stuff that I feel is coming from him. And by the way, the optics are horrible. The world already is disgusted with him. He's not going to do more damage, but what he is going to do is just weaken the thin veil that he still has. That even the people that are kind of saying, rah, rah, he's my guy. He lost, too bad. He won. Here's for your tears. He has given credence to people to be mean. This is where it begins to backfire, because he is conditioning mean people to attack. What he doesn't realize is that they're going to attack him. I'm not calling this out. I'm just telling you that the astrology of a well-planned militia for him isn't the way it thinks he's going to go. He can talk about how much money he's saving and then throw a freaking parade for himself. Come on, really? And Elaine, I understand that. But here's the real. Turn it off. I mean, if you want perspective, there are people in Pakistan right now that are picking up pieces. There are people in India right now that are worried that they're looking up above and waiting for shells to hit. There are children that have been separated from their families in Palestine right now that are sitting there not knowing what happened. There are people in Ukraine right now that still look up and wait for something to land. You were able to get by. You were able to see it. The condition of the world affects us because we're empaths. The condition of the world is that on some level that it needs to be set on fire so that then we can get our shit together. You know, you can't get through it until you got to stay open for business. So you can't fire everybody at once, right? This is a value system that our sin as the United States is that we're not helping people the way that we initially signed up to help people. That was the country I felt proud of. I felt proud of and wanted the world to know that we would have their back. You know, we had a little bit of Superman in us. We're the country of superheroes. You know, from everything from, Superman to Ant-Man. We had it all. In a matter of less than 3 months, we screwed the pooch. We absolutely screwed the pooch. We screwed the pooch because they figured out how to manipulate the election system. And by the way, whether you want to accuse them of the machines, by the way, have you seen Elon Musk in the news? No. You know why? Because he has to quietly go away. Because by law, he cannot work past 3 months without congressional approval and disclosures. So he's bye-bye, don't worry. I said it from the beginning, guys. Well, Rashandi, I really hope that they're safe today. We are still the majority. And that is why protests are important. And by the way, protests can come in a lot of different forms. It can come in standing your ground. It can righting a wrong. It could be standing up to righting a wrong. It could be just getting into good trouble. We have to remember that we, as a global scale, we don't have to do the work yourself. And this is the challenge that every empath has. We think there are some people that are called. I worked with somebody a long time ago that was in the Peace Corps. And I said, why did you go? By the way, beautiful girl, smart, 4.0, valedictorian, had her act together and said, I feel like I need to go serve. It wasn't a religious conquest. It wasn't the Lord spoke to me. It wasn't she was like a youth pastor on steroids. None of that. She said, I want to understand how suffering is so I can heal it. And for 4 years, she went and she helped an African village gain clean water. She taught English. She also taught business customs. She taught all sorts of things. Intelligent, smart, came back, got a full ride to a well-established college to become a nurse practitioner because she felt like that is the key that she could help the world. Right? Yeah, and Michelle, I'm going to take that comment. He won't get it. Who fucking cares? He didn't get that he was indicted. He didn't get that he was accused. He didn't get that he lied. He didn't get that he murdered his wife. I'm sorry, it was on my outside voice. He didn't get any of his lessons. Any of them. From now until the end of the summer, expect chaos. Expect it. You can find blessings in chaos, which is heal. Get to know the people that matter to you. Make your next move when the coast is clear. Allow yourself to normalize things like reduction of self. And what I mean by that is it's some of the best food ever in Austin. And I'm trying to figure out how to make it at home. The dialogue that we have to have moving forward. We got to win. This isn't a matter of thinking that we're going to be somehow, not, on the outside looking in. Like, this isn't the beginning of the end, right? What this is the ability for us to acknowledge that this is going to look the way we want it to look. This is going to have benefits for us. This is going to be for us to truly believe in how we're going to, what our belief system is. This Taurus energy, where Algol sits in the sky natally, if you take Aries as the rising sign, is in the second house because it's the house of Taurus. When they said money is the root of all evil, what they were really saying was that there is this materialistic point of view that is making us undone. How does that look for you? How does that look for what you believe in? Who are you supposed to help? Right? Well, help your neighbor. Help the people that are around you. Help the people that are allowing you to be good. I know it sounds kind of weird, but when somebody says to you, help me, they're giving you an opportunity for you to show the world who you are. I'm not saying you can't draw boundaries. There are the people that will use you because they're lazy. And that is our constant challenge. Who do we help? How do we help them? Who do we put ourselves out for? Right? Michelle, I'm learning more and more about you all the time. And thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that live there. So, are you guys ready to kind of do a Trump turn? Not sure how many people I'm going to get to here, but by the way, go to tbrandonruss.com if you can. See my knees. Jesus, Brandon. It's not that kind of show. I'm sorry. My OnlyFans 9 o'clock is upcoming here. Sorry, I brought all of this equipment down. We use some of it. We use the microphones and whatnot. There we go. There we go. There we go. Are we too high? And yes, I'm wearing a button-down shirt today. Had a very important meeting. Can't wait to tell you about it. By the way, last chance today. Tomorrow, I have 2 more Secret Language of Light. Everyone else in the Tarot Club is already going to be receiving them. We're going to use those cards here tonight as well. But this is going out to Trump. This, I think, is a very, see, I don't like that. This is going to be going out to Trump. This is going to be Trump, where he's at today, where this is going based on who he is and where he's going. And we're going to go 5 cards right across. I'm probably going to need the full spread here. Probably going to need to do that. All right. All right, guys, here we go. Cover to cover. This is for Donald Trump, where it's going to go from his now 108 days, right? Somewhere around there. All right. So we've got the two of wands here. This is about, and by the way, we're going to use these. We're going to use the Leo Marchetti, and then we're going to use the light language, the secret language of light. Is we're going to need some light by the end of this. We're also going to need a heavy dose of smudge. You're welcome. So, and you know what? Maybe I'm going to do it this way. That's not right. That's not right. How about if I add this to the... How do I do this, Brandon? You're big dunderhead. All right, back to the show. So the Two of Pentacles, or the Two of Wands comes out. This is about choices. This is about, is it going to go one way or the other? Which has kind of been a theme with Trump from the beginning. Do. Might have been things I said. So it's this dude looking at his globe, right? And you're welcome, Ashley. The dynamic of a Two of Wands here is not only choices, but is also understanding that you have a responsibility. You know, I also call this the Alchemist card because he's got the world in his hands, but he has to choose how he wants it to go. Interesting card right out of the gate. By the way, full reversals. I dropped all the cards earlier. That's part of the reason why I was doing this. We've got this burden card here. And the Ten of Wands is us kind of being like, fuck you. Good luck, everybody. This is Donald Trump not taking responsibility. This is Donald Trump just basically saying, not my problem. I think he actually just tried to blame Biden for Pakistani's empowerment. It's, boy, it's something else there. The Nine of Pentacles, practically perfect in every way. In reverse, what that means is lack of loyalty, lack of fiduciary responsibilities, undoing what was done so far. Can't make this up, guys. Can't make it up. There's also something to be said about the Ten of Wands along with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here, because the Ten of Wands is basically an irresponsibility of responsibility. Like upright, it's kind of like I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough to get through this. You know, I have this Sagittarius, thing of like, I might be overextended, but at least I can get it done. You can look at this as a positive or a negative, right? Practically rotten in every way. And you just got, I don't award points, but you just got some. But then with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it's a fiduciary irresponsibility. See also your tariffs, right? Huh. Wow, are we not counting down here? We're going to have to do more. I'm already going to call my shot. I'm going to end up doing more here. So the Eight of Cups is about the disappointment of what isn't. It's accepting it where it is. It's saying, these are my losses. This is where I'm at. It's also chasing things that will never be obtained. Thank you very much, Donald Trump. Your father never hugged you. Now he's dead. The cards. So he is compromised. That's what this is. Made to deal with the devil, maybe. And maybe the devil isn't a person. Maybe a devil isn't an entity. Maybe Maybe it's that he made the deal with the things that, yeah, I know, totally. Cold day in hell, everybody. Are we getting ready? And listen, there will be, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And again, I don't wish ill on anybody. Even Trump, guys, even Trump, because it's just bad energy. But after he passes, there will be conversations about him being spotted in Saudi Arabia golfing. Right? Yeah, compromise. That's right. So here we go. We're going to do a little call response here. I'm going to move these guys back here. I want to make sure you guys saw that I was dealing from the top of the deck because it's too much. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. All right, here we go. Oh, so he's presenting to the world the 9 of. So the top row is his core. This is the response. Oh, you're just perfect in so many ways. No, you ain't. Let's talk about the 10. I give you the death card, everybody. He's trying to kill the United States. By saying that we're losing our identity, it's kind of like losing the job you love. The United States has lost a job that they have long since loved in the place of the world. Here's a death card. And by the way, the death card in reverse is just an inevitable thing. It's a slow, painful way. Well, you know what they have to say about, by the way, the great Dave Mustaine, the poet that he is. You take a mortal man, you put him in control, you watch him become a god, and then you watch people's heads roll. And then just like the Pied Piper, he led the rats through the streets. He made them dance like marionettes during his symphony of destruction. In reverse, the 10 of Pentacles. We're going to go broke. This is somebody's going to lose everything on this. This is going to bring him to his knees. Right? By the way, do we get any credit for quoting Megadeth? We're going to become unhinged. The Lover's card, by the way, the Gemini in reverse. You can give this to I'll go there. So he's a Gemini. By the way, be sure to get your flag for Flag Day, everybody. I'm going to be celebrating Flag Day. I'm also going to be celebrating Gay Pride Month on June 14th. And I'm going to make sure the entire world knows that they have a safe space so long as I'm here. But the Lover's card is about choice, and this is no choice. He is so compromised that he has no choice. In reverse, the Lover's card, also known as the choice card, is in reverse. It is a 6. In reverse, it is given way to your demons. You do not have your choice anymore. The Devil. The 4 of Cups. I'm going to tell you why that's so significant. The 4 of Cups represents dialogue. Right? Of loss, of missed opportunities, of FOMO. Donald Trump is a hurt child. Donald Trump is a false everything. He's a cosplay politician. He thinks that the game of holding people, and by the way, be prepared to be blackmailed. Be prepared to have your internet everything out into the world. Your browser history, your whatever. Be prepared, because that's what Elon was doing, scooping all of the information. Because that's what they did with Donald, and that's how Donald ran. He was trying to get dirt on Hunter Biden because that's how he rolled. And since he couldn't get Hunter's, he could get the rest of yours. Julie, I see you. Cat energy work. Love your work. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, in reverse, it is an ending as well with the Ten of Pentacles. And yeah. Does he pass away? I don't know. I don't know. Does he end his time? Maybe. Maybe. Not only is it propaganda, but it's just fake. It's just false. There's no substance to it. You know, him saying, you know, maybe you should only have $2 or $3 and not like 30 or 40. Oh, Donald, shut up. You know, are you for free rights for me to buy my niece $40? You know, can my kid have 1,000 Pokemon cards? Who are you? That's the whole thing to this, guys. Are we a democracy? Do we have freedom? Are we free people? Donald Trump doesn't think so because he thinks he's been in a personal prison for a really long time. And by the way, don't let him off on the Epstein thing. Do not let him off on the Epstein thing. And by the way, this is a focus on Trump. It's not the Trump administration. I've said it from the beginning. I've been saying this ever since I learned his name. Stephen Miller is the most dangerous person in this country. It is not J.D. Vance. It is not Marco Rubio. It is not Pete Hegseth. Those are incompetent boobs. And by the way, in fairness, Marco Rubio actually has his shit together. I don't agree with his policies. But Marco Rubio at least understands that there are protocols and there are things that need to kind of happen. Stephen wants to turn this into a white country. Stephen Miller wants this country to be driven by hate and superiority. Stephen Miller doesn't even have it. We're going to have to come up with a new name for how wretched he approaches things. The Trump administration has lost more than, I think, 75 court cases where they just randomly sued people to test the court system. They are over. But that's not the goal. The goal is to win one. Donald Trump at the head of all of this is allowing it. He doesn't even fucking understand it. He doesn't get it. So if we just sue him? Yeah, sue him. I've been sued. Navarro is deranged. I mean, he's the perfect sycophant, right? Cosplay politician. That's exactly what it is, Tracy. I'm going to keep going because I want to approach what is underneath him. And then I'm going to do a full layout of the cards. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really feeling this tonight. And I think it's my honor to do this. All right. So there's an abundance. In other words, I think they've been... So notice how these are like, hey, it's a choice. How are we going to do this? And then we have the grace of something, of what they inherited. This Ace of Cups is kind of like you got a good thing, dude. Don't mess it up. And here it comes. And then you've got the Seven of Swords. Now, this tells me that there are people in the administration. And by the way, I think this is very true in the first administration. I'd be interested to know how things are going now. This is a kind of a sneaky peacekeeper, right? So maybe there are some people that are just trying to get theirs while kind of letting it go. And it's kind of like this is my philosophy. I'm going to kind of take my stuff, but I'm going to get my grift. By the way, Christy, why did you have $3,000 in your fucking purse? Right? Nine of Cups along with the Nine of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles in reverse, reverse, reverse. So at the core of this is backwards, guys. It is backwards. Why stop there? By the way, weekly B, I talked about this earlier today. King of Pentacles just came out, and the King of Pentacles upright is a very good thing. King of Pentacles in reverse is a very not so good thing. This means instability. This means greed. This means not knowing what the fuck you're doing on the highest level. Can't make this up, everybody. Why go anywhere else but here? Five of Swords is lost and left holding the bag. We're being left holding the bag. We're going to be left carrying out, having all of our enemies basically saying, or all of our friends basically saying, yeah, fuck you. I'm not putting up with you anymore. Oh, Donnie, you want to take your ball and go home? Okay. Then leave. Knight of Swords comes out. Listen. This is the dynamic of this card. Again, this row right here is talking about the administration. With the Knight of Swords, this is about a new philosophy and a new thing applied to something that was very positive. And again, it's not judging whether it's right or wrong. This sword could be used to be like, hey, let's elevate this, or let's use it as a precision tool. We clearly know what this has become, right? Something to be said for that. All right. Four of Swords along with the Seven of Swords. By the way, this is an 11. It's a timing thing. What are you showing me with this? This is some karma. This is some karmatic blend. This is something that is releasing the energy of anything positive is going to kind of culminate into it's going to scatter. Everybody's going to get what they need to get. It's kind of like when a band breaks up and then everybody writes their own autobiography or does their own solo album. It's kind of, that's this feel for me. And I also think your time is going to come. Wow. I don't think that there's a value system here that could sustain the timing. They're going to spring something. Huh. Well, at least we're consistent, everybody. Holy shit. You can't make this up. So we have this is great. So we got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. You got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. You got the 9 of Cups. You got the 10 of Cups also in reverse. I don't really understand, for lack of better terms, how at the core of this, like, we fucking told them that this was going to be chaos. We told them this was going to turn things. This is people taking money and grifting, and this is people letting it be destructive. If this was upright, it would be like, hey, listen, we're proud of who we are. We're not proud of who we are anymore. The 10 of Cups is this enlightenment phase of work and allegory and being able to be the right thing for the right people in the right time. I'm not interested. The fact that these are all in reverse, the fact that these are without purpose, a strong indicator that we were almost there. We overcame our social repression, our racism. We had a black president. We had a good thing going, right? And by the way, I didn't agree with Barack Obama, but in the socioeconomic lexicon, the fact that we would be willing, that the majority of the people would vote for him and he would be giving an opportunity and at 2 terms, He generally did a good job. Didn't agree with everything. But that's my political stance on virtually everybody. In the social construct of things, we were almost there. And we were like, oh, let's have a woman be president. But who we chose was nefarious. She wasn't a woman. She acted like a man in a woman's body. She was a wolf in sheep's clothing. That opens up this opportunity here. Oh. That would be the King of Pentacles in reverse over the King of Pentacles. Chaos, inability, fucking morons. Shit. So the the King of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles in reverse, that ain't good. That ain't good, everybody. That is mass chaos. That is social order crumbling. That is financial mistakes. That is ignorance. That is ineptitude. That is, could you be a bigger moron? Having the Emperor in reverse over the Five of Swords is letting the criminals get away with it. This is a rough read, guys. That is why we're going to look for the divine light to kind of save us through here. Wow, this is some heavy shit. Thank you, Julie, for that. I agree with you. He already has nothing left to lose because he's so compromised. He is compromised. He's this hurt child. Right? All right, we're going to roll this out to heal this right across the board. How are we going to heal this? What are we going to do? What's our job as light workers? Come on, dog. You know I'm not going to leave you sitting there with your face down in the dirt. Politics is dirty. It's full contact sport. Full contact sport. All right, here we go. From the Two of Wands to the Nine of Pentacles, the presentation, to the opportunity of the Ace of Cups along with the Knight of Swords, the opportunity of doing something new, something what have you. Guess what? Soul Tree. We got to remember that these motherfuckers are still our soul family. Okay? Nah. I hate it when the universe just goes, and they're your brother and you need to like them. As my mother used to say, you don't have to like me, but you have to love me. And my therapist says that's bullshit too. By the way, happy birthday, Sigmund Freud. Say hello to your mother. Next. So with the Ten of Wands rather, in reverse, along with the Death card in reverse, which really represents Donald Trump basically saying, I just wanted the title. I don't want responsibility. I want to make changes that everybody else wants to change. Right? Oh, we're coming full force. Because here with the Seven of Swords along with the Four of Swords, that's an 11 of Swords. You know what an 11 of Swords is? Lessons administered. Because this is going to give us insight. This is going to be the truth coming out. This is going to be the nefarious plan getting exposed. This is going to be people going, aha, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that they weren't a good apple. I knew that they weren't doing it. What are our lessons out of this? Visualize. Interesting. I think this gives validation to the light workers that basically sit there and go, I knew this was bullshit. I knew that this is going to be I knew that this was going to allow us to, how do I want to say this? I knew that the elections weren't secured. I knew that they weren't necessarily weren't on the up and up. This gives me some validation. I think that's the visualization here. All right. Oh, interesting. So 8 of Cups, Lovers in reverse, 2 King of Pentacles on top of each other in reverse, which is mass chaos. Ask your soul, why the fuck are we here doing this? What's your job? What's your responsibility? Is it to go stop a war in India and Pakistan? I don't think so. When 9/11 happened, everybody asked me, like, what can I do? How do I do it? And by the way, we were incredibly ignorant, and they use that ignorance. The number one Googled term on September 12th, 2001 was Al Qaeda, because we didn't know what it was. Second was any of the players involved with it. Third was World Trade Center. True story. All right, guys, here we go. Where are we going home? We're going to go ahead and say you are the universe. We get ourselves a 29 card. By the way, horizontal, are we flattened? I don't know. You are the universe is the last card. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? Is it that governments actually don't matter? Is it that when someone else's fault or someone else's burdens or insecurities or someone else's grift or lawlessness, maybe it means that you can't run away from the laws of nature. Maybe you can't run away from the Akashic records and the judgment. Maybe you can't run away from I'm not sure they can handle all that. Maybe we're meant to rise up. Maybe we're meant to take our tired bodies and say to them, I'll do it, even though I'm retired, even though I shouldn't have to do this shit anymore. Give me a shovel. I'll rebuild this. Maybe it's people that say, you know, I just want to be a medium. I just want to read people. I just want to enjoy it. I think that's what this is telling us. You're in charge. You know, I had a meeting with someone. I have some business dealings going on, and it's really in a positive way. And this is the right time to really plan this and really grow it. The poetry book is going to go to press in a couple of weeks. It's got dreams in it. It's got hopes in it. Then I have just a series of things that I kind of have to be close. You know, I have 2 sons graduating from 12th and 8th grade. And they have their own struggles, and they need to see me. They need to support them, and that means I can't travel as much and I can't keep as busy a schedule because they need me. Maybe this is understanding what your obligation is to the people around you. And by the way, you can judge the shit out of them. You can get rid of them if you want, but astrologically, that's not what's going on. Right? Hey, Darlene, welcome. We'll call them in, Darlene. Maybe you're the beacon. Right? I'd like to tell you my stats. I'd like to tell you my stats in Austin. I don't remember how many people were at the circle, my message circle. 111 on the roll time and 55 of you watching. Now 56. Thank you. Don't know how many people were there that night. I don't remember how many people were there for the sound healing. I don't know how many of you watched, and I can't really remember how many books I sold or shirts I sold. I can remember that I gave money to 5 different veterans that were standing on the side of the road. There were 3 white male veterans, and I know that because that was the story they told us. There was another Hispanic man who was saying that every time he went to go get help from churches or communities, they gave him candy. He's like, I don't want candy. I want fruit. I want to live. A picky homeless man. Then there was a woman who was clearly undiagnosed. By the way, all 5 of them were probably diagnosed. I handed them money. Had some help with some of it. Those are the stats that matter. Being able to connect with one person on a soul level, being able to help a person on a point where they needed you. And it's not just helping them move their couch, JD Vance. It's also about it's recognizing that we can keep this simple and tell them to go fuck themselves. It's that we can have joy is an act of rebellion. Enjoying your moment. They want chaos. I mean, I'm looking at the spread. It's uncomfortable. They want uncomfortability. You know, you can give somebody comfort and not make them comfortable. Well, they're intentionally making it uncomfortable. They want you to go to bed at night and be worried. They want you to go to bed at night and think that somebody's going to come and snatch a family member. They want you to know that, well, at any time there could be a conflict. They are setting up a Pearl Harbor. They are setting up a 9/11. They are setting up a courtyard shooting that missed him by inches and has no physical evidence. They are setting these things up. And if you pay attention to history and the fact that we can telegraph this and we can talk about it, how do we beat it? Well, every single time if we had advanced knowledge, we would have been worried. And that's what we're doing now. And I'm not saying don't worry. I'm not saying don't be concerned. But caution your tone with it. Every time you feel depressed, they're winning. Every single time you think that your life is going to change, it's going to change anyways. And it may change in ways that might be amazing and you don't know that yet. You just haven't seen it. But the idea that one man is so severely broken and is tied and tethered to the mistakes and the carnal life that he led, best friends with Epstein for 20 years, thinks his daughter is hot. Do I have to keep going? And the fact that there are a series of people that are getting flushed out to be like, I love that kind of, I'm down with that kind of shenanigans, that debauchery. Turn the country on that's real power. If I can tell a country that they're unworthy, that you can't be a part of my life. You're not like me. I'm better than you. Oh, programs that show compassion and equality, yeah, those are illegal. If you get money from us, you don't get money no more. I'm sorry, what? I'm not saying that the status quo didn't need to be changed. I'm not saying that we haven't needed to kind of improve it. But the 9 of Pentacles upright is practically perfect in every way. The 9 of Cups upright is, we're not perfect, but we'll have what you have. They hate people that love. They hate people that are stable. They hate people that don't really associate with, flashy yachts and, penthouses or overlooking oceans and beaches, or they think that, I mean, listen, 98% of this country lives a very kind of, in relative terms, simple life. Even the 1%. I've met some people that have some serious money, and they live the simplest life. They might have nice things, but that's not what drives them. There's a difference between having money and being about money. These sons of bitches are about power. They are about, of course, the King of Pentacles in reverse fucking twice. That is a double down of ignorance, a double down of insecurity, a double down of chaos, an ineptness on the highest level. The Emperor in reverse is a level of lawlessness. Be safe, be smart, and be happy. Finbar, you are correct. This is a cult. Oh, Janet, thanks for the update. So, thank you, Rashandi. Hey, Jenny, how are you? They're darker than any of us need to know. Yeah, absolutely. So listen, guys, let's take a minute and let's start changing things. Right? I know you guys come here for readings. I'm happy to share. Yeah, right. I said what I said. I want everybody to take a second. And you might be holding your phone to watch this, so I appreciate it. Just put it down for a second. I want you to take your hands, put them over your heart. Let's send energy to Pakistan and India. I don't care what their conflict is. I want their peace. I don't want their conflict. I don't want Donald Trump's conflict. I want his peace. I said what I said. I want him to be at peace, and I know that the only way he's going to get through that is one way. And I'll have to say it. I want the people that are in the positions of being controlled and having power in the moment, the police officers, the agents, the people that go, that's not what I signed up for and I'm not doing that, are going to resist wholesale. And this isn't an empty prayer. This is energy work, guys. This is the reason why you try to unfuck yourself. This is the reason why you went through what you went through, to decide that you are a loving, compassionate person full of mistakes and experiences, and conceptualize them so that then you could be a better person at the end of the day. I want you to take your heart right now and know that it's protected. Know that the work that you are doing is of light, of love, and the universal energy to remember that we are the universe. We're on a mission from something above. We're on a mission that has ancestors that go back millennia. We have memory. Our cells have memory. Our souls have memory. We have seen these conflicts before, whether it is the Lumerians and the Atlanteans, or if it was the Sumerians and the Egyptians. It does not matter if it was the Allied or the Axis. It does not matter if it was the Democrats or the Republicans. The battle needs to be done. We're ready to take on what love is. Because for a long time, for these millennia, we didn't understand what it is. And now that we understand at least the minimum of the construct, of the concept, of the understanding of what love actually connects us to, we give the heart tap because it's the value system that at the end of the day, we don't want to fight. And I'm not saying don't have boundaries, and I'm not saying don't stand up for yourself. But at the end of the day, the reason to do that is for your peace. Because love and peace really do go hand in hand. insanely misinterpreted during the 60s as sex, insanely misunderstood as free love, insanely misunderstood of feminine empowerment and sexuality, incredibly misunderstood by misogynistic backlashes. None of those things were love. They were expressions of us beginning to understand it, and for generations we worked it out. Now we need to understand that it's about caring and compassion. We are learning that it's not about plumbing. It's not about skin color. It's not about economic advantages, but rather understanding that at the end of the day, in the dark, we all look exactly the same. Exactly. It's time, guys. It really is time. I'm going to give you guys a heart tap. You remind one another that we love and care for each other. To remind each other to keep going, to find your truth, to find your passion, to find your peace, find your love. It comes from within, Hermit. By the way, did you notice that absolutely none of these cards were spiritual in nature? All of them were carnal. Even the Ace of Cups, the Ten of Cups in reverse, they all had carnal implications. The Eight of Cups, loss. Thank you guys for being a part of things. I appreciate you. Remember to sign up for the Understanding Bereavement. It'll be every Tuesday. If you can't make a class, get the recording. You'll get meditations. You also get little worksheets because we're going to do some work in this. Because I'm about your healing. I'm also about your feedback. Also, I have the half-hour bumper now available. Broke down, did the half-hour power time available on the website. And I want to thank you guys for being part of my journey. Something's different now. I can't explain it. But I know I'm here for a leadership role. I see you. Heart taps, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And Penny and I are getting together here soon. I'm going to try and jump on and do a little bit more, but I've got to get this book stuff squared away. And thank you guys. Love you. See you soon. Oh, and by the way, let's normalize saying I love you. Got it? Love you.